Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Atlas. Unless you are new to the channel, then well guys, it is very nice to meet you. Hopefully you're all having a great day. We are progressing throughout this week and it has been absolutely crazy. You know that we had previously that all-time high take place, and now that the high is starting to die down, reality is kind of establishing itself again, and where we move to next here is going to be very key and pivotal. Pivotal, that's not a word. Pivotal, that's what I meant to say. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum 2.0 more specifically, as well as taking a look at the charts once again at Orchid, OXT, see what's going on there. So we're going to go in the news, we're going to do some technical analysis, guys. If you can, please make sure you hit that big thumbs up like button. It takes a quarter of a second, and honestly, it helps us out a lot with the growth of this channel, the search and discoverability. So the fact that you take any time to do that at all, I really appreciate it. If you want to be up to date with these things, also make sure you click that little bell icon. I do one video a day. Maybe if there's something that like absolutely crazy happens, I might do a second video in the day, but you're expecting about one video every day, just so you guys know. I don't even think I've done 2 videos a day on this channel yet. Maybe when I was doing the live streaming for a little bit, but yeah, anyways. So hope you guys are all having a great day, and yeah, let's get right on into this. So first bit of news. Oh, by the way, I'm not a financial advisor, so yeah, just a little disclaimer thing. Okay, so looking at the news with Bitcoin and with Visa, this is absolutely awesome news. I'm really excited for this. A new Visa credit card offers Bitcoin rewards instead of miles or cash. We're evolving the industry space yet again, and with a major name attached to it. It's not some run-of-the-mill, like, well, not run-of-the-mill, but like some weird off-kilter credit company that like no one ever heard of or uses, or it's some other weird country. We're talking about Visa, right? Visa. Many people use Visa. Visa Inc. is partnering with cryptocurrency startup BlockFi to offer a credit card that rewards purchases with Bitcoin rather than airline miles or cash. Users of the Bitcoin rewards credit will receive 1.5% of their purchases back in the world's most valuable digital asset, and a lump sum $250 in the crypto asset if they spend more than $3,000 in the first 3 months, BlockFi said in a statement. The card, which comes with a $200 annual fee, will be issued by Evolve Bank and Trust. Let me know what you guys think about this. Personally, I think this is absolutely amazing, good news, primarily for the fact that it's going to encourage to use Bitcoin as a form of currency, right? So you can earn back if you actually do spend some Bitcoin at various vendors and merchants and things like that. Also keep in mind, PayPal themselves are now going to be having next year, was it 32 million, I believe was the number of merchants. So again, I've talked about this before, but a merchant's not a person. There's way more people than that that use PayPal, especially worldwide. But when you're talking about a merchant, McDonald's, for example, there's lots of McDonald's, lots and lots of them, right? But as a company, they'd be identified as one merchant. So having 32 million merchants, you can just kind of rack your brain around how many different potential places that means you could go in and be able to spend Bitcoin through your PayPal. So something like Visa with this as well is opening yet another door for regular people to say like, oh, this thing keeps gaining more value, and if I buy some and I use it, I can get some back as well. That seems huge. That seems very pivotal to me. So with that, then we go into the next bit of news here. I have changed my mind. A top market strategist and longtime crypto skeptic explains why he now believes Bitcoin should be in investors' portfolios. Check this out. So even more confirmation behind the idea of Bitcoin. After declaring in 2018 that Bitcoin has no place in investment portfolios, Bernstein Research co-head of portfolio strategy told clients on Monday that he's changed his mind. Inigo, I think that's how you say his name, Fraser Jenkins said that the policy environment, debt levels, and diversification options for investors have changed since the pandemic and made Bitcoin more attractive. The strategist also said that Bitcoin's volatility has dropped significantly in the last 3 years. He recommended a number of portfolio strategies involve a small allocation to Bitcoin alongside stocks and U.S. treasuries. A couple quotes right here. So first off, he said, I've changed my mind about Bitcoin's role in asset allocation. Then further continuation, he says, the greater role that governments will likely play in economies makes cryptos potentially more appealing. These very same forces also may hinder crypto. If they get in the way of policy implementation, then government might seek to constrain them, he said. He added, the attractions of cryptos will also make them potentially an annoyance for policymakers. Cryptos do have a place in asset allocation for as long as they are legal, right? So he's really stressing that idea about the legalities behind this. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. So we're going to go ahead and close these two out. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to Ethereum, especially Ethereum 2.0. Because guess what? Unfortunately, the last day, we saw a bit of a retracement take place here. We have a new daily candle formation. As of the time we're recording this video, it's 5:18 p.m. So it's a little bit over an hour when the new daily candle's been formed. But as of the December 1st launch, let's go ahead and focus on what news has been related with that. So why Ethereum price corrected sharply despite today's ETH 2 milestone? Well, Ethereum's correction after the ETH 2 upgrade could have been expected due to the tendency of the market to buy rumors and sell the news, which is something we tend to see happen quite often. Buy rumors and then sell the actual news. For instance, when the ETH 2 upgrade was confirmed in late November, Ethereum price similarly dropped from around $620. So the launch of the ETH 2 beacon chain is characteristic of the emergent open source ethos that attracts so many to Ethereum in the first place. More than 27,000 validators from around the globe are now participating in the new ETH 2 consensus model. Proof of stake is a monumental upgrade of the crypto economic incentives that already make Ethereum an automated, objective foundation for trust. We're collectively deepening the commitment to building a maximally decentralized network. Okay, so what's next? Another thing to kind of keep in mind with this too. The futures market took a large hit when Bitcoin abruptly dropped, causing havoc across the derivatives market. As quoted, it said from a trader, "We're getting some nice PA forming around Monday's range and a nice tag of the weekly open. Wouldn't be surprised if we consolidate around the mid-range here for a bit. I'll be interested in more longs once we trade above $620. Moving on, the Ethereum 2.0 beacon chain goes live as World Computer begins a long-awaited overhaul. The first stage of the next generation proof of stake, POS Ethereum 2.0, is now live as of 12 o'clock UTC Tuesday, according to beacon chain or beaconcha.in. That weird way to spell that. A generalized blockchain for decentralizing computer-based applications from iPhone games to government bonds, ETH 2.0 has been under construction since the genesis of the current proof of work, POW, network in 2015. So we're 5 years in development, and now we're just getting to the initial stages, but it's officially up, right, and moving and progressing forward. The beacon chain will be the backbone of a new Ethereum blockchain, a network intended to keep pace with PayPal and Visa in terms of processing speed, while rivaling them in terms of transparency and payment finality. Ethereum 2.0 has at least 2 more technical hurdles to hit its ever-moving timeline: dynamically breaking the POS Ethereum blockchain into multiple datasets called shards, and adopting rollups, a throughput solution for decentralized applications, also known as dApps. Like the handful of testnets before it, participants in ETH 2.0 now help store and manage the registry of validators, according to Ethereum infrastructure provider Consensus. Yet accounts and transfers remain locked until at least phase 2, while the ETH 1.x blockchain continues in parallel. In other words, ETH 2.0 won't be usable for paying your electric bill until 2022 at the earliest. But still, nice progressive movements. Are you guys excited about Ethereum 2.0? I think it's absolutely awesome that we're already making this transition. The whole side of Coinbase soon being able to start doing the staking with ETH 2.0 here in the near future is also going to be really exciting. Now let's go take a look at the charts, guys. First up, let's take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin. I feel like it's starting to get a little bit dark here, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn on that light real quick right there. That should be a little bit better. Okay. So now taking a look over at the Bitcoin chart itself, you guys can see that we have had, as of the previous day, a pullback take place, right? So this was essentially right along that line, trying to get to that all-time high, which is interesting. This shows reportedly that had pushed all the way up past it, right? Now on the new daily formation here, we're still seeing a bit of a further correction down. It has pulled back a bit up and is just dwindled slightly on the downside. So it's finding stuff a little bit of a roller coaster. I'd be a little bit cautious with this, guys, although we don't have anything as a previous history necessarily with these major zones to kind of look at. We are starting to form a little bit of a potential head off of a head and shoulder pattern. So for example, if this does have a further correction down down to say here, that it would actually push it below the 21 EMA as well, which would be a bit of a concern because pulling below that would show a bearish sign. And if this does drop to a point approximately like this with a further retracement up, it could end up having a reversal. And at this point, this formation essentially becomes the neckline of that head and shoulders pattern, and a further correction from the high to the low of that head position could see a potential drop range back down to around the $1,500 range, right? So we'd see quite a bit of a significant drop. Not only would that pull us down below the 21 EMA down here, but if it closes out at that point without a further correction back up, a rally, people doing buy signals, things like that, it establishes itself, we could see a bit of a dry spell during that case until it passes above the 21 EMA again. But when the drops take place, that 21 EMA responds in accordance with that. So it's not just going to keep going up, up and up and up. At some point, the 21 EMA is going to start shifting and going sideways and then pulling down. The more the 21 EMA pulls down, the easier it is to actually meet it in the middle and then further correct up. But trying to maintain that momentum above the 21 EMA is quite difficult. As you can see, it's been going up nearly vertical at this point. And with that being said, it ended up finally breaking down through the bottom, was able to bounce off of it and hold itself just slightly above on the 21 EMA, and that further continuation up. And we've already had a very long time, all the way back from October 8th, we've been staying above this level of zone on the daily close. So we haven't had a daily close below the 21 EMA since then. So I'd just be a little bit cautious with this stuff, guys. It is a good prospect to still have a further continuation up. We got some good news in regards with the Visa stuff. For example, we are still pretty close to the $19,000 range. The people that were skeptical and selling off before, you saw that we came back, and guess what? We hit the new all-time high. Just before that, we were very close to it. As you can see over back here, November 24th, right? We got very close, but we didn't hit it. People got scared and sold off. The OKEX exchange had their information as well. And then a further continuation, rallied right back up, reclaimed all that lost ground, and then ended up tapping. So we got some new all-time highs on a lot of different exchanges. Not unanimously, but on a lot of them we did. And then a little bit of a further correction back down as people... pretty much everyone was expecting this, right? People were thinking that like as soon as it hits that 20K, I just want to play it safe and cash out right now because I expect that it's going to go down. And because a lot of people did that, it also caused it to go down. And so now where are we going to be playing at for the next rolls? So we're going to have to kind of keep an eye on it. If it pulls down to the 21 EMA, that's $17,655. If we pass above that $20,100 level, then it will be unanimously above the all-time high for all the different exchanges. $20,100 is a very, very key level to keep an eye on. So just keep that in mind, okay? This potential head pattern, though, I'm just a little bit cautious with this. I want to see how this progresses. If this moves into the green zone, it can actually pass above the $19,700 for the daily close, pushing right around that top position, then that would be the most bullish position, and I hope that it does that, but we're going to have to kind of keep an eye on it. Looking at it on the monthly, you can see that with the new monthly formation, we've already got a pretty strong red candle that's taken place so far, but we're on the first day, right? So plenty of things can still happen. The last 2 months we had greens. You see 2 months of greens, it seems to be typical, and then followed by reds. We did have a couple months that took place back here on February of 2019. There were 5 months of consecutive green candles that led up, each one progressively getting higher in essence as it moved up to its peak until it had a further retracement back down, and then that sell-off that took place in the following positions. So 2 to 3 months consecutively seems to be the standard. You push even further back to when this major rally took place up to the $20,000 in December of 2017. You can see had 2, 4, 5 consecutive months of green candles, and then a little bit of retracement, and then a further final breakout upwards as well. So the fact that we have 2 strong candles already could be leading towards an indication towards the early phase of back in this period. You can see also some 3-month candles, 4-month candles, 2-month candle right there. Everything looks kind of sideways in the broad retrospect to when that major push actually started to take place. So let's keep an eye on this, guys, see how it continues to move forward and progress. And that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and click save again real quick and move on to the next one. Now let's take a look at what's going on with Ethereum. So Ethereum, same thing. It's having that little bit of a retracement back down, except right now it's actually back in the green as compared to what we saw with the Bitcoin, which was showing on the red for the daily position. So Ethereum is starting to rally up. It's getting closer towards the $600 range again, now holding at 592. It had a major drop that took place like what we saw with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin tends to lead the way with a lot of these things. If Ethereum can stay above the $534 range, and we're still looking good on the progressive movement with the 21 EMA. The volume so far in the daily is still quite low, but we do have some good progressive opportunities to take place. We pass above the $640 range. Sorry if you guys can hear people in the background. My roommate's got a friend over, so I do apologize about that, guys. And we got the $640 range right here for the top. We pass above that $640 range. I'm just going to go ahead and pull back on the weekly here. So you have two progressive movements already taking place for the weekly. So far, we're still in the green on that. The key level of breaking through is going to be ideally the next zone, establishing right around this range, because you can even see back on May of 2018, June of 2018, there were these tops that were taking place, and they were bouncing right off of $592 approximately, almost $593. That is just slightly above where this peak had taken place as of November 23rd. And then also of this weekly, we had just briefly passed above that level, and it had a further retracement back down. So we haven't had a strong daily close. I think if we can get a strong daily close above $628, that daily close will have it established higher than these previous points. It took a further decline, and that's going to lead the way much more strongly towards another major zone of $828 respectively. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next little bit right here. Moving on to Orchid. Orchid saw a big correction take place, and I'm not surprised with this. I love Orchid. I want to see it do really well in its future, and I believe it's got a lot of potential in the use cases. We still haven't heard the official announcement with the Windows having taken place. That's been a launch we've been waiting for. So this retreat takes place right here. It looks like it's filling in these gaps taking place there. A further correction down towards the previous levels, as I mentioned before. This is going to look close to around the 27-cent range. And if it does that, it's going to pass above the 21 EMA. Right now, it's been having a rally staying above with the establishment back on November 18th. So we want to stay above that 21 EMA, obviously, because it's more bullish. But if we do end up tapping it on the daily right here, 27.47 seems to be the point before it could have a potential bounce, a further correction down, and establishing down below the major level of consolidation right here, just below the 0.236 on the Fibonacci retracement, would be at approximately 26 cents, 0.2598 essentially. And that is going to put it as a further establishment down below the 30-cent range. As we see with the daily close here, it was at approximately the 29 cent range. Yeah, at 29 cents was the daily close yesterday. So once again, back in the 20 cent area. Psychologically, if we could have establishments again still in the 30 cents, it would just reinforce that movement towards the next major zone. But that massive drop did take place. We saw that the daily candle with Bitcoin is trying to recover itself. Ethereum has been able to recover so far. It looks like Orchid so far is also in the green zone and trying to work its way back up. The volume for the last couple days has been low for Orchid. The major push rally took place most dominantly back on November 23rd and November 24th. We also had some other major movement taking place on November 18th. So as far as for the candles go, in the most recent weeks, it looks like the most highest amounts of volumes have led to a green positive movement, which is great. We want to see that rally continue onwards. The RSI is just slightly above the median zone. So even though we're in a major bull run for what's going on with Bitcoin, altcoin season debatably is still in the downtrend movement, and pushing into January is likely to see that uptick and a lot of surge and explosion in its prices. So if we have some further correction down, I wouldn't be surprised, especially because on December 6th, we're going to have potentially a whole bunch of Orchid be dropped onto the circulating supply because of what we saw on their website. So it didn't say definitively on that day. It said post December 6th, which is obviously very vague. And if you guys have more clarification on that, if it's for sure going to happen on that day and how much, I don't know why they didn't say it on the website, but let us know if you do have any more details on it in the comments down below. And a further continuation up, guys, really need to break and establish above this little key consolidated zone at approximately 32.33 cents, 0.3233 cents, and then breaking above the 0.5 on the Fibonacci retracement at 0.3383, and then we hit the 40-cent range. Well, actually, we got to get past the Fibonacci on this 0.618 as well, and establish into that zone itself above the 0.3714 cent range could lead all the way past going into the 40-cent range if it breaks above that right around 3/4 mark going up into the 0.786. So I'm saying a lot of different numbers going at you guys. So I'd say the key things right now, keep in mind 0.2737 fib on the 21 EMA. Next level going up 0.3244. Then 0.3377, and then let's break above 0.3709. Look at it on the weekly. Weekly is down, but we had 2 weeks previously of greens, and you can see there was even a large wick that pushed all the way up into that other major region zone of the Fibonacci retracement on the 0.618, but then it had a massive decline down, which is what typically happens. You can see these massive wicks that take place with Orchid. Not something I really like to see. A lot of people seem to be speculating that it's bots on these exchanges that keep pumping and dumping it back and forth. If you guys think there's something else going on, let me know. On the monthly, again, we're the first day of the month, showing a very strong drop in that red candle. Interestingly, by the way, on that monthly, you can see that where it's currently positioned at right now is essentially where that opening had taken place back on October 1st. So it's almost as if it's dropped itself back down right there. And you can also see on the monthly, large green candle up, retracement back down. It's pulled down about halfway. If you're looking at it as like a pump and dump type thing, guess what? Here's another red candle that nearly pulled all the way down to the bottom. Correction up, further up, retrace back down. And this is filling in essentially that gap zone. So I would be concerned that over the next month that we could see it have a drop all the way down, essentially towards the bottom. It looks like a lot of these times it's pretty close, but it just has a little bit of a higher low. We might even see it have a closeout back down to the point when the lowest point had been reached for the month of November. I would be concerned also, well, that's also tapping the top level of that resistance that you guys can see I had established before. So it's very interesting with that. That'd be at the 21, almost 22 cent range, 0.2179. That's going to go ahead and do it for this video, guys. Again, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this information, please don't forget to subscribe. Feel free to share this video with anybody else if you think they would find this information valuable, the technical analysis valuable. You think they would enjoy this community space. I really appreciate all of the love and support you guys have been doing. If you can, hit that like button. We're, again, trying to get to at least 50 likes on every single video that we've been doing. And I've been trying to do a video every day. It helps out so much, guys. Make sure you click the bell notifications so you'll be alerted of videos in the future on this channel. And drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about everything that was said today. Thank you guys so much for being awesome, for being here, for checking out my content. I really appreciate this so much, guys, and I hope to get to know you guys even more. So you're always welcome to even say hi in the comments down below. I do also have a Twitter account if you want to check that out and talk to me on there, or just see what kind of stuff that's going on. I retweet things, engage in things there. I know a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space are turning towards Twitter. So my Twitter handle is @AtlasOfficialTV if you want to check that out. In fact, I can just go ahead and show you guys real quick. And you can see my name right over here on the bottom hand side, @AtlasOfficialTV. Not sponsored by Flow from Progressive. Great. Gotta love that that's just slapped in my face right off the bat. Okay, guys, that's gonna go and do it. Thank you so much, and we will see you in the next episode.